in just a few minutes. I appreciate your patience as we get everyone hopped on and logged in. I want to make sure we have everybody so we all are squared away with the correct information. So just a couple more minutes, and just for your reference, we are recording this. This is a meeting format, not a webinar, so feel free to turn your cameras on if you want. If not, that's okay as well. If you guys could, while I'm talking, mute yourselves. I feel like we all have like the Zoom lingo down of the Zoom etiquette, I guess is a better way to put it. Feel free to mute yourselves, but at any time, please ask questions away. The whole point of this call is just so that you guys are ready for the event. So we'll give folks just 2 or 3 more minutes and then we will go ahead and get started. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Adrian, if you're, Corey, if you guys, or Tasha, if any of you guys are on and able to keep an eye on the waiting room, that would be awesome as well. Welcome to our call for our 2021 state summer games. We're having not 1, but 2 state summer games. So we are all very excited that we are going to be able to offer a competition in athletics, all-star skills teams soccer, all-star skills soccer, and team competition for soccer. So I just want to start the meeting by saying thank you. We'll be done by then, Denise, I promise. We will not go that late. We better not go that late. Just a couple of Zoom etiquettes. Feel free to please mute yourself. You can put your camera on if you'd like. If not, that's okay as well. If you have questions, feel free to either put them in the chat or unmute yourself. I'm going to kind of go through our whole agenda and then I will follow up with any questions. But again, this is an informational session for you guys. So this is geared towards making sure that you guys and your team have the best experience possible. So I'm going to start out by thanking all of you. There's no way we'd be able to have a season if it wasn't for you guys putting up with all the paperwork. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Let's give you some more paperwork. And just all the pieces of everything that you guys have done. So on behalf of SoCo, thank you so much for what you've done, because we wouldn't be able to be here doing what we're doing if you guys haven't been doing that. Thank you, a million thank yous. We're so excited to be back in action. And this is probably our biggest event that we're going to be having since, in like a year and a half or so. So all that being said, I will put my emotions aside. I'm very excited, as you can tell, but we are ready to go. First piece I want to talk about, I do have a mask update for everybody. We will, teams and individuals will have to wear face coverings at all times to reduce the risk of COVID, except while they're actively competing or able to maintain a 6 foot distance, a 6 foot safe distance. So all that being said, before I kind of dive into the details of that, coaches have to have masks on at all times unless there's any reason you're not able to have your mask on. Spectators have to have masks on at all times unless there's any reason that unless there's a particular reason that they cannot. So athletes, however, we are going to allow athletes to take their masks down or off while they are competing. Track, for athletes that are running, they can pull them down. We will have volunteers that will be able to hold them and get them to the finish lines and things like that. If you have athletes that just want to wear them, that's fine as well. I think this is probably a bigger deal for a lot of our soccer teams. I know it's been challenging for all of you guys to be practicing with masks. So please, anytime they're not at the competition field, please make sure everyone has their masks on. The main reason we are we are able to kind of do this is because you guys have been following the guidelines really well, and we feel that it's still going to be a safe environment for our athletes. So just as a reminder, everybody who is not competing, athletes, partners, coaches, spectators, anybody that is not competing, volunteers, masks must be worn at all times. Athletes that are in the competition field will be able to take their masks off for the time they are competing. Any questions on that? Yes, go ahead, Denise.
My big question, so soccer teams, if they're coming off the field but still on our sidelines, can they not have their mask?
If you're coming off the field for a water break,
Right.
yeah, I would say that's not a problem. But like during that halftime, once they get their water, I'd like them to put them back on during that halftime period as well. Okay. Awesome. Great. Any other questions on that? Okay. Perfect. And those of you guys, just because I feel like the questions might come at some point, those of you folks that are coaching in the summer season, hold tight. We are working on what those guidelines are going to look like. So stick with what we went through on the call last week. Masks are still required at that point, but we will be getting something out to you guys shortly. Okay. Great. The next piece I'm going to cover is all the COVID paperwork that we've all been doing. As I said, paperwork. We are working diligently on our end to cross-reference all the forms that we've gotten from practices and from competitions. We do appreciate your patience if we've asked you to fill out the form a few times. We are working on the best way to track it. It has just been just a whole extra new piece, as you guys all know. So we appreciate you guys getting forms over. We're cross-referencing all of those pieces, and hopefully when you get to the competition, we won't have too many people having to do duplicate forms, okay? Next thing, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. And I'm going to cover the map real quick, okay? So this is our map for June 5th. Again, we'll be at Sky Vista Middle School. It's at 4500 South Himalaya Street in Aurora. There's a few kind of special pieces to it, so that's why I just want to make sure that I go ahead and cover all that. We will have our volunteers parking in the front here. So volunteers, if there's any volunteers on here, I know there's a few of you guys are going to turn onto Radcliffe and park in this front lot here. There's an easy way to walk around this way or walk around the back way as well. Athletics teams, this right here where I've got this orange yellow box is a little drive-through. And in this grass area over here is where teams will be set up to be able to do their check-in / registration. I know a few of you have asked about bringing a tent. That's fine. If you are going to bring a tent, if you could go ahead and put that in the chat so that I can be aware of that. We will have some other tents set up as well for you guys to spread out since you will be checking in over a longer time period. Once the athletes are dropped off, we're gonna be able to have them park in this lot right over here. And I did email you guys, and I'm hoping that we can get, we can limit the spectators to 1 or 2 cars. The parking lot is a little bit tight, so just keep that in mind. If that's an issue, just please reach out to me and let me know. Again, this is for our athletic folks. We will be, so over in this area, you guys will be set up with your team. So I see Mary on the screen. I'm going to use the Southsiders as an example. They'll have their tent set up. You'll have the bibs over there. I have an update on the bibs. There are no safety pins. We have sticky bibs. So the bibs will stick right onto their jerseys, which I'm a little excited about. I did look at the bibs today and got nervous that there weren't safety pin holes in there, and then realized we got the sticky bibs. So you won't have to worry about safety pins. The athletes will just be able to stick their pins on. So when that 9 o'clock group checks in, Mary, you've got, let's say, all 5 or 6 of your athletes in that group. You'll have a volunteer with you that's going to actually walk them over to right down in this area by the start of the 50 and the 400 meter. At that point, we'll just double check, make sure you've got your group, and then our athletics teams will go ahead and start their rotations. They're going to start right here. They'll be doing their 50 and or their 100. That's where the starting line is for the 400. So we'll fit that in. The athletes then will rotate over to the jumping station. There will be 2 sand pits down there. And our volunteer there will split you up, whether you're doing standing or running long jump. Then though, everyone will rotate over to the 100 meter. and then rotate over to the throwing, and shot put and softball throw will both take place from the throwing. Once athletes are done with the throwing, they will come back around this way, just basically the same way they came in, and then loop around up here to the awards area. There will be plenty of spectator spots for folks to stand there to watch the awards area. And then they will also be very close to the finish line, Sona Move shoe pickup and Strong Minds. Athletes that have competed athletes have completed the Sona Move challenge will be able to do their shoe pickup. And then any athlete that goes through Strong Minds will be able to do a shoe pickup as well. We are working with Finish Line. They will be there with shoes. The shoes will actually be fitted to the athletes. So it's not just give us a size and kind of, we'll see you later. The staff from Finish Line will be there actually fitting the athletes for shoes. So folks that have done the Sona Move Challenge can do that. And then folks that will be going through Strong Minds will be able to do that as well. For those of you guys that are in athletics, those items will take place once you're done with your rotation. Just a couple pieces on athletics. I know at regionals, we were a little bit more maybe lax on the spectators allowed on the track and those kinds of things. That will not be the case. We will not be allowing any spectators to be on the track. As you can see, there'll be some viewing areas just to the west of the track and to the north of the track. Unfortunately, the spectator viewing isn't necessarily the best, so we just ask that you be flexible with that as well. Athletes over in jumping, if on the running long jump, if any athletes do not meet that 1 meter minimum, athletes will be disqualified. So athletics coaches, if you have someone that's kind of close to it and you're not sure, please let me know by the end of the day tomorrow, and we can get them switched over into the standing long jump as well. Okay, so again, no spectators will be allowed on the track at that point. Coaches, if you need to be on the track, please reach out to me and let me know. Otherwise, we'll run it similar to what we did at our time trials, where there'll be a volunteer group. The groups of athletes will be roughly 12 athletes. Those athletes will be grouped up into 4 different groups. So each race and each jumping and throwing event will have 3 athletes in each heat. And they'll be awarded based on that. So time trials, everyone got their certificate and blue ribbon. At this event, since it's our state event, athletes will be awarded the 3 different places at athletics as well. Okay. Any questions on athletics? I'm going to hop over to the chat real quick. Let's see. Okay, got some tents in there. Christina, if you have a need for coaches to be on the track, just shoot me an email and let me know. We'll do what we've done in past years, and we'll issue a track access pass to those coaches. Okay.
Susan, I have a question real quick. This is Cassidy. Hey, so I see all of our UJ athletes, transition athletes, whatever call them, have times. So they'll be just treated as the competitive athletes throughout? Okay.
Correct, yes, yeah. And so again, if you've got any situations where you think you need any extra support, just go ahead and shoot me an email with that, and we'll make sure that we've got that you've got coaches to make sure that the athletes have a successful experience as well.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna also show you guys this master schedules. I sent you, all of you athletics coaches got 2 schedules. So there is a master schedule by time. So this is the times the athletes will be checking in. So as you guys can see, you know, some of these bigger teams have a longer time period to be sitting there. That's why we'll have some tents set up for you guys to be in that area. We are asking that the athletes try to arrive as close to that check-in time as possible. 5 to 10 minutes early is great, but kind of, unless they need to be there for the full day, if you guys are providing transportation, that's one thing, and I understand that. But if we can try to keep our athletes in the time periods, we're still trying to keep our groups of athletes that are rotating through relatively small to keep things safe as well. And then I've also sent you a schedule. This is just an alphabetical order for the check-in time, if that's of help to you. So you guys have a couple options there as well. Okay. Any questions on, I guess, any questions on athletics? We can go ahead and just jump right in there. If there's anything I didn't cover, anything that you have concerns about. Okay. Great, perfect. Then athletics coaches, if you guys would like to hop off, you're more than welcome to. We're going to jump into soccer. If you'd like to stay on, you're more than welcome to as well. The rosters I've sent out should be final. If you guys have any changes on those, I really need those by the end of the day tomorrow. We won't be able to make changes on the fly. So just let me know by the end of the day tomorrow if there are any changes with that, as I'll be getting all the paperwork squared away tomorrow or Friday.
What was the last date of the final? Was it the one you sent on the 25th, or should there be one more recent?
Nope, that's probably the last one. And Cassidy, the only thing I need to do for your athletes is add them into their throw event. So I will get that over to you. I still have that on my long list of things to get to.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Susan, this is Tasha. Real quick before the athletics coaches jump off, we have some questions in the chat about lunches for the athletes. Will that be provided?
Yes, I apologize. I did not share that. Lunches will be provided. They'll be in the awards area. Subway has been gracious enough to donate as well. So we will be having sandwiches and cookies. So we'll get a little cookie bonus, which, you know, isn't the worst thing in the world. So, but yeah, those will be provided on over in the awards area. So you guys can grab those on your way out as well. So we do want to keep in mind that while we do have our Strong Minds taking place and our shoe pickup taking place, we don't really want anyone to hang around and linger too much. Unfortunately, we just like you to get through everything. We don't want you to rush through those stations, of course, but once you guys are done with those stations, we do ask that you go ahead and head on out to enjoy the rest of your day and make room for the rest of the groups that will be coming in as well. Great.
Sorry, Susan, we have some questions on water and bathrooms.
Yes, we will have coolers out. I encourage athletes to bring water bottles if possible, but we will have coolers and cups out at each of the stations, as well as tents, so the athletes will have a spot to hang out in the shade as needed. And then down here, just right by where this arrow is, we will have porta potties and restrooms right there as well. And we will have regular ones as well as ADA restrooms back there. And I know it looks like it's kind of crowded out there, but it is much bigger than it looks on the map. So hopefully no one will be standing too close to the porta potties while spectating. Great. All right. Well, then I'm going to go ahead. If there's nothing else on athletics, I'm going to go ahead and jump into soccer. So as you all know, we will be offering team competition, which will be 7v7. We have decided to make the halves. We will be doing 2 15-minute halves with a 3-minute halftime. We do ask that when it's your game time, you are ready to hop on the field and play so that we can stay on our schedule. And we will also be doing, the size of the fields will be 50 meters by 35 meters. So we decided not to do the largest field possible, just because we think there's been a lot of, maybe not everyone's in shape and ready to jump into that. So we went with the smaller size that is still permitted in the 7v7 rules. So I am asking everyone from soccer to park across the street over here at the Aspen Crossing Elementary School. If you have athletes that want to be dropped off, there is a walkway right off of here off Himalaya that we're going to be doing soccer check-in right in. It is a little bit of a walk, but we can just consider it a good warm-up so that when you guys get there, you'll be ready to play. We'll be doing check-in right over there. Coaches will get a team packet. So if you're doing team competition, you'll get that information. And if you have a skills team, you'll get an all-star skills team, you'll get that information as well. We've got field 2 right down here, and that's where the all-star skills are going to take place. And then I know we've got a couple of games that'll take place there starting at 1 o'clock as well. Our young athletes in Unified Junior Soccer, those of you guys that will be with Mandy, will also be over in this area. So I know some of you might have young athletes in Unified Juniors and also all-star skills. Do your Unified Juniors and young athletes piece first, and then those folks can come over to field 2 for the all-star skills. Those of you that just have athletes and all-star skills, that will start at 9:40 on field 2. We will have all the stations set up. And what we're going to probably do is divide those groups up so that each athlete's at a station, and then they'll rotate through each of the stations as well. We did decide to move soccer awards up here on the baseball. There's a baseball field under this, just to keep things a little bit easier for everybody. But I do want to encourage all the soccer players to head over to Do Strong Minds and get your shoes, and also get your shoes if you've done the Sona Move Challenge. And we do have some new souvenir items, and souvenirs will be placed right here so everyone can walk past it on their in and out. We've got some great new items there. And we just packed them all up today. We have some brand new shirts for the 2021 Summer Games presented by Spectrum. So very excited about those, and we hope that you guys will be as well. So we will. I would highly suggest you meander down to that area for all the great things that are happening down there. We will offer lunches up at soccer if you guys aren't able to make it over there. We can definitely figure that out. If you look where this yellow arrow is right here, these are actually this is just a few flights of stairs that you can take up and down in order to get to the souvenirs, the restrooms, etc. If you don't want to take the stairs, this sidewalk over here will loops right around to get to where these restrooms are as well. Okay. Any questions on the map for that? Oops, I need to get to. Okay, here is our soccer schedule. So again, I've listed up here that games will consist of 2 15-minute halves with a 3-minute halftime. And we would like you to warm up prior to your game if that's possible. We do have most of our divisions are either 2 or 3 teams. So our 2-team divisions will just be playing each other once. If there is a tie in those situations, we'll award, like if you guys both win one, we'll award based on goal differential at that point, okay? And then most of the day we only have 1 field taking place, and then at 1 o'clock we do have an additional field. So at 1 o'clock and at 1:40 we'll have 2 games going on. And then our last game down here is at 3:40. Just a little note on that, our Strong Minds will wrap up at 3 o'clock. So I would encourage these few teams that are here, if you guys are interested in the shoes, that stuff will wrap up at 3. So encourage your team to get there a little bit early. And again, we are asking that you guys park over in this lot and walk across the street as well. There is an entrance down here on the corner of Ireland and Himalaya, but the rest of this area is fenced off. So either way, it's a little bit of a walk. You can enter down here, enter over here where the curved path takes you right up to soccer check-in. Okay. Any questions on any of that? Great. Did I miss anything from the chat? Giovanna, feel free to reach out to me. We can probably snag you a closer parking space. Why don't you go ahead and shoot me an email, and we can get you a parking space down in this lot here if that would work easier for you as well.
Susan, there was a question just confirming field locations. Adults play on field 1, and then the young athletes and Unified Juniors on that YA and UJ spot, right?
Yep. So whoever is on here on field 1, these are mostly our adult teams. We do have a couple of junior teams that'll be playing on field 2. But if you have got received information from Mandy with the young athletes and Unified Juniors, this is the section you'll be in over here. Mm-hmm. And the section's not really spread out, so we'll be able to direct you guys. We'll have volunteers up there that'll be able to tell you and show you exactly where to go. So please don't hesitate to ask anyone that is there for questions or help as to where to go. Awesome. Again, we appreciate your flexibility on the event. I know we've had some last minute things coming in, so we appreciate all of that. We are probably just as excited, if not more excited than you guys are to get back in action. And we really can't wait to see everybody. So I just, we'll be able to continue doing events. Obviously, as things open up, things will continue to evolve with Special Olympics, but really important for this event that we ask the coaches and when you're not competing to really follow all of our rules that are set forth. And we appreciate your cooperation on that as well. Great.
Susan, another question from the chat. Where should accessorides drop and pick up?
Let's have accessorides regardless of the sport. They're just dropping off, so they can drop off right here at the athletics drop off. And then the athletics guys will just be able to find their team, and then the soccer group will just be able to come right up the stairs here. I think as long as they're dropping off, that's a fine place for them to be. It'll make things easier for them just to have one location as well, I think. Any other questions, concerns? I think you guys all know how to get a hold of me. So if anything comes up, please feel free to email me. And we're just looking forward to a great day. So don't hesitate to ask any questions. We look forward to seeing everybody, and give a holler if you guys need anything. Thanks, everyone. I'll stay on for a few minutes in case anyone has any questions. And otherwise, I will let everyone get back to their evening. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I do hope it'll make the event run as smoothly as possible, but I also appreciate your flexibility with any hiccups that arise.